You can never compare because everybody's on a different journey and a different learning path, but they sort of compared me to somebody else based on my age and not my expertise. So that was something where I even thought sometimes, like, wait, hold up, do I know what I'm doing? Like, do I have this talent? Hi everyone, welcome to Entrepreneur's Diary. I'm Gisela Lyshetti. Thank you for joining me again. I hope you're enjoying the summer. I know I am. I'm like literally melting over the heat. So make sure you stay hydrated, okay? So today's topic is all going to be about negative emotions or words that people have sort of said over you and how that can affect you, what you could do to sort of navigate through it. And this topic actually came after I spoke to one of my really dear colleagues of mine, a previous colleague of mine who used to work with me a couple of years ago. And she left the organization in not a sort of a good term. But I catched up with her, recently, and I really understood what kind of impact this toxic environment had on her following through after, she left. And it was actually something similar happened to me as well. So this is why I want to share it with you, because this can happen to you as an entrepreneur, even as a colleague, as a normal staff working in an environment where you're not appreciated, or actually you're devalued for your skill set that you have. For example, in my colleague's case, what happened is, that they, although she's had over 5 to 10 years of experience, they didn't look at the value of what she could bring or the value that she's produced previously. So they didn't think she could fit a new role that they created, and therefore, the environment around her was very controlling and very sort of micromanaging and very toxic, to the point that she was getting depressed and she had very low self-esteem. So fast forward a couple of years later, when I catched up with her, she still talked about that experience, and she was telling me how this is something that really affected her personally. Although this is like in her career, she knew that she's been doing this for a very number of years and that she knows exactly what she's doing. This is her expertise, you can say. It actually affected her personally. She started self-doubting herself and her skills. And I can relate with that, because that happened to me, because I had people who were sort of comparing my age to others in my field. Although it's not you can never compare because everybody's on a different journey and a different learning path, but they sort of compared me to somebody else based on my age and not my expertise. So that was something where I even thought sometimes, like, wait, hold up, do I know what I'm doing? Like, do I have this talent? But obviously, you guys know, I'm in the marketing field. I've been doing it for so long in various different industries. So for me, that personally also, when someone was like, oh, I don't think you know what you're doing about it, or I don't think you know what you're talking about, I was like, no, actually, I know what I'm talking about, because I've been in the industry for a number of years, for very, very large organizations for a number of years, and very different kind of clients. So I can, off the back of my experience, explain you what there is to do with marketing. But sometimes when someone sort of says, you're not good at speaking out, or you're not good at presenting, so those kind of comments, as it could be a bypassing comment as a joke, or it could just be a comment in itself, those little comments really do actually nag at you sometimes. And that was the case for me. So I took it personal, because I started sort of doubting myself as well, and I was thinking, hold up a second, do I know what I'm talking about? Like, can I deliver this? Is this possible? And this is me. And then it took me quite some time to get over this and get my confidence back up. Because what I started doing is, because of the self-doubt was there, I actually started fearing. And what sort of broke me out of it is, remembering that actually I have worked on a lot of projects before, and a lot of clients before, and a lot of sort of different kinds of international clients. And I've delivered projects, and I've delivered them to the T, and the clients were happy, and everything worked, and we had a good return of investment and all of the other stuff. So then what I had to do is I had to keep reminding myself that there are projects that I had a learning curve, and there are projects where I nailed it, and there are projects where I failed. But this does not determine your identity. It does not determine who you are. Just because some random 5 people actually come and tell you, oh, you know what, you shouldn't be doing this, why should you be paid this much for this amount of work. It shouldn't really affect your identity. I mean, it can and it will, and it's just about filtering, because 100 people have 100 different kind of opinions, and if you let all of those opinions in, inside, then you're not going to thrive, and you're not going to be, very confident about what you do. And especially as you're an entrepreneur or starting a business, believe you me, you'll get people who have opinions where you're just like, hold up a second, I never asked for an opinion from you. Or, where were you when I needed you? You're giving me an opinion now when, like, I'm right at the end stage, but where were you in the beginning when I needed you? And especially because, when you have someone who's been in the field for so long, or who has a different experience in the same field, they like to share that wisdom that sometimes is good. Insight is brilliant, sharing wisdom from others is brilliant, but if it doesn't sort of sharpen you, if it doesn't encourage you and boost you, I generally say keep it to yourself, guys. Or even, don't even let it in. Don't let it sink. And this is one of the advice that I gave to my colleagues as well. I said, listen, what they said over you is not who you are, okay? You've been in the field for so long, and you've done this, and you know this. And this is the same thing that I want to say to you guys, which I had to learn over the way, that, when you're starting a business, when you're doing something and, it's going wrong, but you're learning from it, don't let someone speak over you going, oh, you've done this wrong already, so you're not going to thrive. That's nonsense. Don't listen to that. Know why you started. Remember the good times, and this is why it's so important to remind yourself. So have a book, write it down, do whatever you need to do, but remind yourself why you started it, and then just keep pursuing. Because this field, being an entrepreneur, means you're an out-of-box thinker, and sometimes people don't like that. Sometimes people have an opinion about that because they don't see you as what you've envisioned to be. But you know why you started, and you know who you are, and don't let anyone talk about you or get you down otherwise. Okay, so that was all about today's episode. I hope this has encouraged you, because I had to really go back to my roots again and think about, oh my gosh, all the times that's happened to me, and I'm glad that I am learning. I'm still learning, because I still get affected, but I'm still learning, and I hope this has opened your eyes as well. Thank you, guys.